Hey, what's up, everybody? So the big news of today, obviously, is this Xbox Scorpio leak. Well, it's not actually a leak. This is kind of public information that Digital Foundry has kind of dug up, and they're kind of putting or attempting to put 2 and 2 together, but their 2 and 2 equals 5 for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why, but a lot of people are sending me this article, and I'm going to link it in the description. There's also a Digital Foundry video explaining the same stuff if you don't feel like reading through this like huge dump of nonsense. But basically what this is saying is that Scorpio is going to be using, to them it seems like Scorpio is going to be using Polaris tech, which is the same thing as the PS4 Pro is using, but probably a newer or more custom, more powerful version. And also they are of the idea that they're still going to use the Jaguar core. They hinted this. They do have some kind of paper from last E3, so July of 2016, and of course we are almost in February 2017, so you can do the math on that. And they are trying to say that this thing is going to be basically not as powerful as Microsoft had kind of touted it to be. And the thing that I would say is, you know, again, take it with a grain of salt, okay? Because they are doing their best to kind of downplay what's going on with this, and I think that it's, you know, one of those things that is interesting. But there is some stuff, like there's no ESRAM in the Xbox Scorpio, so there's that. And basically this white paper suggests that the process of render target aliasing, which suits Xbox One, blah blah blah. Let's see, in their post E3 Project Scorpio spec analysis, they assumed ESRAM was a thing of the past for Scorpio, and many believed that it would remain on the processor die in order to remain compatibility with Xbox One titles, and so that's not going to be the case. There are other clues as to Scorpio's final hardware setup with the white paper. The 6 teraflop GPU is once again confirmed, with the GPU's compute power rated at around 4.5 times the capabilities of the Xbox One, which is actually pretty damn impressive. So they say Scorpio is at least as modern as AMD's Polaris line. Based on their discussion with Mark Cerny on PS4 Pro, we can reasonably assume that Microsoft can customize its GPU core just as Sony did with access to Radeon roadmap features, up to and perhaps beyond AMD's upcoming Vega architecture. So that's pretty much important there to say right there. Up to and perhaps beyond AMD's upcoming Vega architecture. Microsoft gives away little here, rather than to confirm the Delta color compression is part of the Scorpio GPU set, just as it is in the PS4 Pro. It's the application of Scorpio's power that is the focus of Microsoft's white paper, and other hints about the hardware makeup of the console are few and far between. In the wake of CES, there is a renewed speculation that Scorpio may feature more advanced Zen CPU cores. However, a throwaway comment, so this is where they're speculating, a throwaway comment within the Microsoft white paper of how developers may want to use Scorpio's capabilities again makes this seem unlikely. We acknowledge that developers may not wish to spend all the additional GPU resource of Project Scorpio on resolution, and this is not mandated. To make the best games possible is what we want. Developers will inevitably spend GPU resource on other quality improvements such as higher fidelity shadows, reflection, texture filtering, and lower draw distances. Another option developers might consider is frame rate upscaling, running graphics at 60 Hz but the CPU at 30 Hz, and interpolating animation. PlayStation 4 Pro has offered several titles with this type of performance, blah blah blah. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. You know, just from my point of view, I want to point out that they're trying to say that Microsoft is wanting people to do like this checkerboard type thing, and that's not exactly the truth. We know this since this time, right? Since this thing is dated July, this paper that they have, and since that time, Microsoft has said native 4K over and over again. Microsoft has said all Xbox One games running on Scorpio around the launch time will launch at native 4K. Native. They didn't say anything about upscaling or anything like that, so they're saying native. Also, they've taken several shots at Sony for the 4K thing. So, you know, a lot of people are going, oh, well, is this a fake 4K machine now? No, all their first-party games are going to be native 4K, all of them. Every single one of them. With that being said, right from the beginning, Phil Spencer said it was up to developers to use the power how they see fit. If they don't want to make 4K native, they don't have to. If they want to do 1080p 60, they can. If they want to do 1440, they can. I would assume that like Star Wars Battlefront running on Frostbite, that's not going to be native 4K on Xbox Scorpio. That's just would be insane to think that. And so I think that that's what people are forgetting about. They're like, oh, well, exposed or it's not as powerful or whatever. It's still over 6 teraflops, which is way more powerful than the PS4 Pro. And it's going to have 12 gigs of GDDR5, which they even speculate in here as well. This whole thing, a lot of it is speculation. While they do have this, like, throw this white paper or whatever, it's not exactly a smoking gun from last July. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of the Sony fanboys are hoping that this is, you know, some kind of way to prove that it's not going to be as powerful or whatever, or that the Pro won't be as worthless. If the Pro is not worthless to you, then it's not worthless, you know? Like, to me, it's not a good enough upgrade. You know, like, Scorpio is what I was hoping for. That, to me, with the native 4K games, especially particularly the Xbox games, you know, the exclusives, that's what I want. And obviously, having the more powerful console will mean that third-party games will be as well. So you just have to look at the things that Microsoft has said since July. Phil Spencer said that the CPU would not be with any existing technology out at that time. And he said that late last year. So you take that into account. You also take into account that the Scorpio was shown off at the AMD events. You know, so you just put 2 and 2 together. I would highly doubt that they're going to use the Jaguar CPU, because you couldn't overclock it enough, and the CPU is a huge bottleneck on the PS4 Pro. The Polaris thing, maybe that carries water, because like they said, you can even outperform Vega with certain variations of it and customizing of it and things like that. So I think that that's important, and Microsoft has said in this that developers are free to do what they want, but that's no breaking news. You know, they've said that all along, that developers are free to use the power how they see fit. This is not like terrible news. Now, still, it's going to be the most powerful console ever made. But even if this is sort of true what they're doing, you're still looking at a really good price point too. So over 6 teraflop console for $399, and that's got to be bad news to the Sony fanboys too. So it's like, pick your poison. Do you think that, you know, it's going to be this? Because then you're still going to be outpowered, and you're still going to end up with a $399 price point. Or is it going to be, you know, a Zen-based CPU and be even better, and you're still not going to be looking at much of a difference in the price point? So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of interpretation to be had there. But at the end of the day, you know, Microsoft, they have made a lot of claims, and so they have a lot to live up to. And, you know, I think that this is a little bit of Digital Foundry trying to maybe tear down what this is. But we're not going to have to wait very much longer. I think we're going to see a Scorpio reveal soon. And if not before E3, E3 is right around the corner. So let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, comment, rate, subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.